All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here.
We're trying. Good morning. I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
How are you guys?
We're wonderful. And this is morning when we record this show.
Yes.
So it'll probably be evening when you're watching it, but it's morning right now.
It's morning right now, and some of us just crawled out of the bed and
You know,
crawled in here.
I have never been particularly a morning person, probably because of how I spent most of my career. And our director here, Julia, told me one time that she'd seen me on this show a lot because obviously she works on this show. And then she saw me one night on Tennessee Traveler when I was doing that. And she said,
you were just a live wire.
She said I was a totally different person by the time it got nighttime. You know.
When I first married Ralph, he always wanted to talk in the morning. He'd wake up ready to go and lots to say. And so one of my first conversations with him after we settled through the honeymoon and all that was, if you want to spend the rest of your life with me, you're going to shut it up in the morning. I just did not want to talk. I just didn't have anything to say.
Right.
So, anyway, I've changed a little bit.
What is it? Nightlife?
Oh, the nightlife ain't no good life.
But it's my life. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
It might not be the right time, but it's my time.
That's right. And that's kind of the way we live.
Thank God the wind has stopped.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's coming back.
Can you believe it? Is it coming back?
I think it's coming back this afternoon.
Well, I made the mistake of opening my pool last week. Well, guess what? Guess who's been out there throwing
Snakes.
leaves? No snakes yet, but lots of little debris
But they'll be
things.
there before the summer's over.
Yeah, they'll be there.
Oh, by the way, Peggy, since I know you live on a plantation out in the country, and this would be really good for you since you live on a plantation in the country. But Saturday is Worldwide Garden Naked Day.
Garden Naked Day?
Yeah, and that would work for you probably because since you don't live in the city, that would work really good for you.
It is pretty quiet out there.
You know. So.
Well, speaking of that.
Yeah.
There was an Irishman, an Irishman who liked to doodle. And he got pretty good doodling, and people started noticing his doodles. And so they started coming to him and buying his little doodles. Yeah. And so he started expanding that and started painting. Well, he became a pretty good painter, so that area of Ireland where he was, people would come to him and buy his paintings. He became famous and was making good money doing that. Well, one day this lady comes to him and said, I have a request. And she said, I want you to paint me. And he said, well, I'll be glad to do that, me dear. And she said, one thing, I want you to paint me naked. And he says, oh no, he says, I don't know about that, says I'm a married man. And she said, well, I'll pay you your normal price and give you $10,000 extra to paint me naked. And he said, well, I'll have to go talk to my wife. So he goes inside and discusses this with his wife, and he comes back out in a little bit, and she said, well, what's the decision? He says, okay, talked with me wife, and she said it would be okay because we need the $10,000. He said, but there's one thing, I'm going to have to keep me socks on because I need somewhere to clean me brushes.
I knew that's where it was going.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So he had it all confused. He had it all confused.
That was a good one.
Yeah, needed to keep his socks on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had not heard that, but I just
You
felt
can tell where it was.
I just knew that's where it was going. Oh, well.
You know, John, there's a bunch of new millionaires in the world this week as the NFL.
I wish I were. Was my name on the list?
No, you weren't.
I didn't figure I was.
Can you name any of them?
Well, Derek Barnett from Tennessee is one of those. Yeah,
awesome.
He was the 14th player drafted in the NFL draft. He got I think his contract is around $13 million.
How does anybody come up with that?
Oh, there's a lot of money in football.
I know.
There's a lot of money in athletics.
And he gets $7.5 million up front. That's
guaranteed.
That's he was a first round pick. I think all of his money's guaranteed.
So he gets that even if he doesn't play, if he has an accident or something.
Yes, But
Wow.
his signing bonus was $7.5 million.
Wow.
So they write you a check for that, unless you're
And who did he go to?
Philadelphia. That's where Reggie White played.
Yeah.
if you
Oh
recall.
boy, I bet they're tickled up there. Those Eagle fans. Well, that's where they had the draft. Was in
Right.
Philadelphia, wasn't it?
Yes,
Man,
it
they were
was.
going crazy up there too.
And the first player in the draft, the number 1 pick, was Myles Garrett from Texas A&M, who was also a defensive end, and I think he got nearly $31 million. About 17 of it
Guaranteed.
up front.
Yeah, up front.
Yeah, but however, first round draft picks, they'll pay you. I think they pay you over 4 years, whatever, except for the part that they'll write you a check for whatever your signing bonus was. That's you get
Right.
that right up front. But all of it's guaranteed, I think,
That's amazing.
for a first round pick.
Isn't that something?
And it changes as you go down. Tennessee, I don't think had anybody in the second round, but they had 4 or 5 in the third round. One, of course, was in the fourth round they had Josh Dobbs, their quarterback, went. And a lot of people would say about Josh Dobbs, he has a degree in aerospace engineering. Very smart young man.
Yeah.
And
did a 5-year program in 4 years.
yes, he
That's
did.
how smart he
and
is.
played football.
And played football.
That's amazing.
You know, it's-
Now, that's amazing.
At the SEC level,
Yes.
which is incredible.
Well, and obviously he was pretty good because he got drafted. You know, he
Right.
took some people were critical of him because they didn't win as many games as they thought. But you know, obviously the pros think something of him because of 4th round picks. A lot of people were saying, why would you even go play football if you have a degree in aerospace engineering? And throughout his college career, he's co-opted and worked with Pratt Whitney, I believe, and some other people. But you know, why would you go do that? Well, I don't know what an aerospace engineer makes, but I'm assuming it's in excess of $100,000 a year.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But
Peanuts, in a way.
well, the thing about it is, you know, a 4th round pick will usually get $500,000, between $500,000 and $600,000 signing bonus. But they'll also get a 4-year contract, and the minimum wage in the NFL is $450,000 a year for a rookie. That's the minimum. They have to pay that. So, you know, he's going to get
So that's $2 million.
$2 million. You know,
So he can retire then.
Which is 20 years
Yeah.
worth of Pratt Whitney work.
Which is actually, about 20 years, or at least
Amazing.
10, or
Yeah.
10 or 11 years of aerospace engineering salary. So, I mean, you know, he'd be foolish not to take it. Plus, he likes doing it. So, you know.
Well,
He
the thing
obviously
about
does,
it is you can't play football forever.
No.
And
And you always
why
have
not
the
do it?
chance
Why
of
not
being
do
hurt,
it when you
yeah.
can? And if you bust your leg up or bust your knee up, unless you bust your head up, you can still be a aerospace engineer.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
he will probably in the off season continue to have contact with these people,
Oh, yeah.
and will and he might well be hired by them as well at the same time.
Right. Absolutely. So, you know, and like I say, he's a pretty grounded kid, and,
Yeah.
you know, and very, very, very smart.
Well,
you know,
his
so-
problem, his win-loss problem wasn't his fault. A lot of his support staff was injured. 2 of his best
Yeah.
defensive players got injured early, and he had some offensive people that left the football team.
Right.
You know, that his record didn't reflect his play,
Right.
and those people saw that.
Right.
And saw a kid that and number one, you know, they always involved in this draft, you know, they're talking about this kid, and there's some kids that are exceptional athletes that don't get picked because of the baggage they carry along
Right.
with them.
Absolutely. And I tell
And
you,
the attitude they bring into
I'll
the
tell you a
locker
good
room.
example
These
of that
pros
is-
don't want to deal with that.
the quarterback for Ole Miss, Chad Kelly,
Right.
was I thought a great athlete, great quarterback, one of the best in the conference. But he had some personal issues that happened outside of the football program on several occasions. And he was the last player picked in the draft, and probably should have been at least a second rounder, you know,
That's-
because they
yeah,
don't
that's
want.
too bad,
They just don't
but
want to take the chances.
don't wanna deal with
you
it.
know, and
Right.
it's a shame. Of course, if you get a chance to play, and you
Well-
work at it,
Yeah.
you'll overcome that.
Sure.
So.
Well, you have
anyway.
to change. You have to have a little change of attitude. You
Yeah.
have to grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
I would
You know,
say.
you're a professional instead of a college student.
You know,
And
there was a kid too, I think, and I forget what school he's from. Obviously, forgot his name, but he should have been a first-round pick. Thought he would have been a first-round pick. Hurt his knee in the bowl game last December.
yeah, that was the Buck. Wasn't he a tight end?
No, this was a defensive player.
Oh, okay.
I think the one you're talking about actually did hurt his knee. It wasn't in a bowl game, I don't
Right.
think. But this kid hurt his knee he was an offensive lineman, I believe, and he hurt his knee in the bowl game in December but he had an insurance policy.
Right.
And so because he dropped from a projected first-round pick to the fourth or fifth round or something like that, his insurance company had to write him a check for about $600,000.
Wow.
Right.
So
I imagine his insurance costs a little bit, didn't it?
it does. I'm sure it's expensive, but I think the NCAA gives you, if you're a projected first or second round pick, they'll give you a little help monetarily to help pay the premiums on that. Still, in all, your family's going to have to come up with some of it. So,
Sure. Sure, but look what it did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look what it did.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's interesting. And the Tennessee Titans got some good players.
Yeah,
and
they did.
They're creating a real football team again. Mm-hmm. And it'll be fun to watch the Titans. Yeah, it's fun to have a local group that you can cheer for.
Sure.
Sure. Everybody wants
And
that.
so it's pretty interesting.
Makes Tennessee look good.
What amazed me is in Philadelphia, every time the first day and the second day that Goodell came on stage, he was booed the whole time. The commissioner of football was booed the whole time he was on stage.
Why was that?
Well, because he's a jerk.
Oh, okay.
However, he can probably tolerate that because he makes some phenomenal.
He probably makes enough
some
money.
$70 million a year, some
No,
guy.
it's over $100 million.
$100 million a year.
Yeah.
Could you imagine making $100 million a year?
I just wouldn't know what to do with myself.
All I want's 1 year.
Yeah,
Matter
1
of
year would be
fact,
good.
give me 1 month of that,
No.
Yeah.
and I'll quit.
Right. We always thought that, personally, you and I have always felt like Coach Olive at the high school would one day move to the college ranks because he's such a good coach. And I remember him telling us one time he just liked to draw that salary per year. He'd be good.
1 year, he'd be happy.
Yeah.
I mean,
And what you take on responsibility wise in those changes is
Huge.
incredible, because when you go to the college level, it's all business. It's not about hometown boys and hometown feelings. It's a business.
Yeah.
And
Those
you better be
universities
good.
are making tons
That's
of money
right.
off their athletic programs, and it's like going to it's like being the president of a corporation, and you have a stockholders meeting every Saturday afternoon.
You gotta be
And if
ready
you don't
to
perform
produce,
every
yeah.
Saturday, you get fired.
Right, and
You've gotta be on
you'll
top
have
of
a
your
lot
game.
of lot of second guessing going on.
A lot of
too.
second guessing.
So,
Saturday afternoon quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
what we're going to do, instead of guessing, we're going to take you to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with today's show. Don't you go away.
The Russell Barnett Automotive family has launched its new Owner Advantage program. It starts as simple as your first year's maintenance is included with the purchase. We have 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plans available. Car detailing, car rental, collision repair. Stop by one of our 5 locations and let one of our certified sales staff tell you all about it. The Russell Barnett Automotive Family Advantage program. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do,
Everyday Miracles, Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman.
And this is Pat Welch and John. We're here for segment 48.
We're marching right towards 50.
We're going towards 50.
Oh yeah. I didn't practice any of these songs I'm doing, Pat, so if I mess up on the words, I don't think anybody...
Sometimes that's better. I think our interchange has been better,
Yeah,
unrehearsed.
a fella did this years ago, and then the Oak Ridge Boys made it real famous. See if I can do it. Well, eyes that look like heaven, lips like cherry wine. She sure enough can make my little life fine. She's gonna jump and holler, I just found $2. We're gonna go and find that preacher man. Elvira, Elvira, my heart's on fire for Elvira. Giddy up, papa, mow, mow. Giddy up, papa, mow, mow. High, oh, silver, hey, way. Well, tonight I'm gonna meet her at the Hungry House Cafe. She sure enough can make my little life fine. We's gonna jump and holler, I just found $2. We gonna go and find that preacher man. I believe I did that before. Elvira, Elvira, my heart's on fire for Elvira. You want to do this, Pat?
Keep it up. You and John are doing great.
Papa, ooh, papa, mow, mow. Giddy up. Papa, ooh, papa, mow, mow. High, oh, silver, hey, way. High, oh, silver, hey, way.
That was...
Who did that? Dallas Frazier. Dallas Frazier, I think, wrote that, probably made lots and I believe that was his name. Dallas Frazier wrote that. And I should have practiced on that song a little bit, at least, before
When
I
you
tried
give that
it.
name, you don't have to send any royalties then to him, do you?
No.
Good.
I don't guess.
That was a fine rendition of it, I'll give you that.
We just borrow. We don't steal, we just borrow.
For short periods of time, that's
Short
right.
periods of time, that's right.
Well, John, a couple weeks ago, we mentioned that back in the 50s, 60s, and some of the 70s, there were high school football coaches with rural roots that coached long periods of time, and we spotlighted Jim Cartwright from Columbia, one of those segments. But in segment 48, I believe we're going to try to talk about another one. His name was Mike Mayfield, and he coached at Cannon County or Woodbury. And he was probably a little bit more rural, maybe even than Coach Cartwright. And he came to Tennessee from Sand Mountain, Alabama. Mm-hmm. And evidently things were really backward and really rural there because he thought Cannon County was, and Woodbury was kind of a metropolitan area and cosmopolitan and so forth. But he was some kind of character. And when he was in, I heard him talk a couple times, and he said that he played in a gym in high school in Sand Mountain that was so small that the half-court line also served as both foul lines. That would be a really small gym. And he had 4 or 5 really good stories. He had a team that he thought was playing pretty well there for a while in a close game, and thought the other team had been offsides, and all of them had jumped, and flags were flying, and the official called it and said that it was on them. And so he called timeout and got the man, the white hat, the head official, come over there and want to know what happened. And he said, well, Coach, he said, it looked like to me, Coach Mayfield said, it looked like to me that those people were offsides. He said, no, Coach, your center drew them off. He said, what did he do? He said, well, he snapped the ball. And Coach Mayfield said, that'll do it every time. Oh, let's see, what else did I have to say about him, John?
I like the one Coach Mayfield says that whenever they won the flip.
Oh, that's when he had a really bad long snapper.
He said, we always chose to go against the wind. That way my snapper could get it back there to my punter.
Yeah. They claim that on a coin toss at the start of the game that the official came to him and said, Coach, I'm trying to help here, but your captain he's trying to go into the wind. He said, sir, we have to. He said, why is that? He said, my snapper has to snap with it, otherwise he can't get it to the punter. Isn't that a great story? His best stories, I think, were he had several really good teams in the mid-'70s, and that was about the time that Brentwood Academy was really getting established, and they're awfully strong at the top level of state now, but they competed with everybody in Class 1A and then 2A, just in a 3-class system for the whole state that time, and so Woodbury's having to compete with them in the playoffs several times when Coach Mayfield had some really good teams. And he said that they were just getting thrashed at halftime, and he asked some of his assistants, what kind of defensive alignment do you think we could change to make this thing a little bit more competitive? And one of them said, well, Coach, I believe we could go with a 12, 13, and a 6 alignment. So we got like 40 players out there. And Coach Mayfield thought about it real long and hard, and he said, well, he said, we better not try that. He said it'd be awful embarrassing the first time they break a long one off.
Has this picture been up yet, Pat?
Philip, have you had him up there? There he is. He was some kind of character. And I think maybe one of my favorite, and this shows how rural and country he was, one of those Brentwood Academy teams had a tailback named Wally Knox, and he was a really good player, and played at Ole Miss. And this would have been probably, he was competing in the Class 1A, which this guy would have stuck out really well at that level. And somebody said, Coach, how good was that Knox boy? And he said, well, I'll tell you what I did. He said, one time during that game, he said, it was so bad I closed my eyes so I wouldn't have to witness it. And he said, to be honest, when he came near me, he said, it sounded like a calf running in a pine thicket. That's pretty good description of
Coach Mayfield's a good Christian fella, too.
He was a great Christian. In fact, he worked with Fellowship of Christian Athletes for a while after he retired from coaching.
Yeah, he was a very kind, gentle man.
Really was.
Yes.
A great man. Yeah.
Have you got any other stories on Coach Mayfield, or is that about get it right now?
Well, that probably is going to do it. That gym that he said that had only one line that served as both half court and both foul lines, he said the out of bounds went about 3 feet up the walls. And then you had to grab a hold of a peg and pull your legs up the wall. And I think that may have been a little facetious there.
I'll tell you one thing I just throw out there. It's off of Coach Mayfield's on Milner Carton. He said the worst he ever got beat in basketball was a place called Hanging Limb.
That sounded like Coach Mayfield's story, though. That's right.
Yeah, he got beat at Hanging Limb. Pat, it's been fun.
It's been a great segment, 48.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And so we hope we can come back for 49 and try to catch that 50 number.
And we'll try to practice a song next time.
That's right. Over and out. Thank you all.
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455-5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our Partners for Healing.
Hello, this is Janie Price. When my husband Ray Price would tour across the country, his favorite place to dine was Cracker Barrel Old Country Store locations. His favorite thing to order was the Uncle Herschel.
And the beauty of it all is forever, you'll be holding me to.
I miss Ray dearly, and I'm so proud that his last album, Beauty Is the Final Sessions, is available at his favorite restaurant.
A love affair to remember.
The project includes a duet with Martina McBride and harmony vocals from Vince Gill. Ray believed this to be the best recording he had ever made.
Oh, I wish I was 18 again.
I think you'll agree when you pick up your copy of Beauty Is the Final Sessions at a Cracker Barrel Old Country Store location near you or at crackerbarrel.com.
A world without breast cancer is a world with more birthdays. And signing up for the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk will help us get there faster. The American Cancer Society invests in groundbreaking breast cancer research, and we're part of every community. In fact, 1 in 2 women newly diagnosed with breast cancer turns to us for support. Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org. Together, we can finish the fight against breast cancer.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited this morning because I have a young lady on stage with me that's just one of my favorites. She always greets me with a smile and a great attitude, and it's Becky Huddleston, and she is from Elk River Public Utility District, and our wonderful people who supply gas.
Natural gas.
Natural gas
that's
to
right.
us. And that's not why she's here today. She's here because she's one of those young people who has made herself available for service in our community. And you're here as one of the people who is putting on Relay for Life.
Right.
And
Relay
explain to us just a little bit about that event.
So Relay for Life, it's kind of put on by the American Cancer Society, and it's one night a year that is set aside, and it allows survivors and anybody that's been touched by cancer to kind of come together, raise money to fight the disease. And so our event is coming up. It's something that I have just newly gotten involved in. This is my very first time being
good for you.
on the event team and a team captain, so I'm kind of green with all this, but it's something that is very close to me. I lost my dad to cancer in 2014, so I've kind of wanted to step up and help out and do what I can to
Well, good
to
for
help
you.
people.
And it's not ha-ha funny, but it's funny how our perception of events and things change when we're personally touched by something that's involved there.
Right. I had known people that had cancer from church or out in the community, but there's nothing like that feeling sitting in the doctor's office with my dad when they told him the diagnosis, and I'm an only child too, so it kind of hit me pretty hard, and so this is my way. I relay for my dad.
Good for you. Good for you.
I want to get people involved.
Yeah, well, tell us a little bit about the event, when it is, where it is, and what you're looking for. I know it's in June.
It is. The event is June the 3rd, and it is at the Coffee County Raider Academy. We chose that spot because it has that big track, because one of the things that goes on at the relay is you walk the whole night. Somebody keeps walking the track the whole night. And that's a good place. It's got a good paved track on there. But June the 3rd, Raider Academy, and it starts at 5 o'clock and it goes until 10. And we're just going to go out there and have a good time. We're going to have food. There's going to be teams there fundraising, so people are going to sell food, shirts, any kind of thing. I'm probably going to be selling sweets. That's what I like to do.
Sweets?
Yeah, I'm a big chocolate person.
All right.
So, you know, and just come out, and there'll probably be some face painting. There's always stuff to do for the kids. I'm going to have my daughter there. She has a big time. But it's a great event. They used to have a relay, one for Manchester and one for Tullahoma, and we're kind of combining the two this time.
Well, good. That's great.
So we're looking for sponsors. Number one, if anybody wants to be a sponsor, your business or anything like that, contact me. I can put you in contact with the girl to help you do that. But sponsors, if you want to have a team, we're always looking for teams to sign up and fundraise. Even volunteers for the day of. You know,
right.
it's a lot of work to put together an event like this.
Sure it is. Sure it is.
And so you always have to have volunteers the day of to help set up, and you know, we sell the little luminary bags in honor and memory. So we'll have to set those around the track, fill them up with sand and stuff like that. So there's always something to do.
Yeah. Now, do you have a survivor's walk or something like that?
There will be a survivor's walk at the very beginning, and then after the survivor walk, there is a caregiver walk, and then after that, I think actually this year we're going to be patriotic this year.
Oh,
the
good.
theme is kind of like red, white, and blue with a little bit of purple, because purple is, you know, the American Cancer Society color. And so I think we're actually going to maybe recognize our veterans too. I think I've seen that in the rough draft of the agenda.
That's
so,
good. That's
you know,
good.
we're proud of that. You know, you always want to be patriotic.
Now, tell me, because it might be a new name or it might be a new facility. Where's the Raider Academy?
It is the old middle school in Manchester, right off of Interstate 111. You know where J&G is?
Yes.
Yes, it's what used to be the middle school, just right across from it.
Oh,
and they
right there by the interstate where the high school football games are played.
They renamed it the Raider Academy when they built the new middle school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's where we go play football when we play Manchester.
That's right.
Or Coffee County, excuse me.
That's right.
Do we have a phone number that you can give that people who want to get in contact? Give us a phone number.
I can give you my number.
That's fine.
It's 931-409-7217, and if anybody's got any questions, or you know, if you just want to find out what you can do, give me a call, and if I don't have the answer, I will find somebody that does.
Okay. Well, what does a sponsorship involve?
Well, you get.
I mean, is there a dollar value involved in that?
There is. I think the highest is $5,000, and then there's a I think it's a gold sponsorship is the $5,000, and then the next one under is about $2,000, and then you know there's different levels, and then you get different things with those sponsorships. You get your name on the website as a sponsor. You get recognized at the relay, and you'll get recognized up until the relay event. So there are different things that you get, and I have information in a packet for anybody that is interested in that.
And they're like a team. Does a team it cost for a team to be in the event?
You can
Teams
sign
are
up
free.
as a team. Yeah, I have a team, and this was my first year doing it, so I was just kind of going with the flow, and you just raise money. You can do different things. My team had a bake sale after church on Easter, and you know that money will go towards my team, and it'll get turned in for that night.
Okay, and so there'll be a team award at the end of this for fundraising?
For whoever, the team that raises the most money, you know, they'll get recognized and stuff. It's a good little competition there.
Yeah.
So I like competition. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And so the teams will probably have, you know, a lot of these people will stay all night.
Some
there'll
will.
be tents.
There will be tents.
and people. I'm sure there'll be people playing music probably and having a good time and walking around and visiting with one another.
That's
because they all have something in common, or they wouldn't be there.
Right. I think that 99% of folks have somebody that they know, maybe not personally, but somebody that they know out in the community that's been touched by cancer. Yeah. And I kind of want to do my part in fighting this disease.
Well, you're a sweetheart, and I'm so glad to have you here. For many reasons. She comes to see me from time to time with the Coffee County
Coffee County Leadership.
Leadership. Now, you've been involved with that for?
I went through the class in 2011, and then I was actually president of leadership the past 2 years. And so now I'm past president now, so I'm helping with the relay.
With the relay.
Yeah, got a little bit more time.
You know, you young people out there, pay attention to this beautiful child here. Be like her. Step up in your community and get involved and help, and because it makes all of us better people and have a better place to live and wonderful things to do. Becky, thank you, dear, for being with us this morning. And you're going to have to come back with your other shirt on and talk about gas and all the great things you can do in the summertime because you have natural gas at your house.
That's right. Everybody likes to grill.
That's
We're
right.
getting in the grilling
and those
season.
beautiful gas lights, the ambiance that they show
That's right.
when your house is lit up by gas. We'll be right back after these messages. Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat. You know, they do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the paint works at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Heikkinen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Cool off this summer at Tullahoma's Splash Island. Fun for all ages. 3 25-foot slides, lazy river, fun water features for toddlers, tasty food items are available. All this and more, only $5 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Sundays, 1 to 5. Join the fun at Tullahoma's Splash Island.
All right, this is perfect timing for this next piece. After Becky being up here talking about Relay for Life, I met a young man several years ago, Jacob Wise. He's a doctor, and what he was talking about and his emphasis was about is testicular cancer. And that is something that happens to young people between the age of 15 and 30. It's very prominent, but people don't think about it very much. And Jacob, who is a juggler, found a very profound way to warn you and make you conscious of testicular cancer. And then there'll be a doctor from Vanderbilt that will have a little talk about that. It's a very important thing for young males. Pay attention.
Bruce Roth. I'm a professor of medicine and urology here at the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center. I head the genitourinary research program here at the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center, and have been doing testicular cancer research for 25 years. Testicular cancer is a malignancy of actually we call the germinal epithelium, the reproductive cells within the testicle. It's important because it's a highly curable malignancy, particularly if caught early, and is a disease of relatively young individuals who, if are cured, have a long and productive life after successful therapy. So although it's a relatively rare malignancy with about 8,000 cases in North America this year, it's the most common malignancy in the 15 to 30-year-old male group, and therefore extremely important to catch at this age. I think that there are several things that conspire against the early detection. First is that the group of individuals at risk, namely 15 to 30-year-old males, frequently think that they're immune from health problems, may not be seeing a physician on a regular basis, and then secondly, may be reluctant or embarrassed to talk about pain or a change in physical examination in this area, and will frequently have people tell us that they had a mass in the testicle for 12 to 18 months before presenting, and finally it was because of pain that brought them to the emergency room, but they knew that something was a problem earlier on. So I think if we can get people to do self-exams, realize that they're at risk for the disease, and that it's highly curable if caught early, then we can get away from many of those preconceived notions of embarrassment. Well, I think the first is that somehow it's caused by trauma, either acute trauma or chronic trauma, riding bikes, people who do a lot of sitting in positions, truck drivers, things like that. Those are all myths, and in fact there are no known causative factors for the development of testicular cancer. There are some associated factors, namely the failure of testicles to normally descend at the time of puberty. Although this is not a causative event, it's just a marker for a group of individuals who may be at an increased risk for subsequently developing testicular cancer. Any mass felt in the testicle on self-examination or pain in the area that was not related to recent trauma or that persists for some period of time beyond that trauma, you should present to a primary care physician if there's any question about whether there's something present in the testicle. A subsequent ultrasound of the testicle is done, and immediate referral to a urologist for subsequent examination as well as blood work. Many people will report having either some pain or heaviness in a testicle that evolves over some period of time. Some people will report having had trauma to a testicle either during sporting events or whatever, and associate a mass or tenderness with that, but in fact this did not cause malignancy, it just called attention to them doing an examination for the first time in a long period of time. Well, I think pretty clearly once you have high-profile individuals that have come out and told their stories, then it certainly seems like it's okay for you to have testicular cancer as well. And when you see people who are cured with early intervention, even with far advanced disease, then I think it's an important health step to take and take responsibility for your own well-being by looking at the thing that you're most at risk for in terms of malignancies and addressing it with self-examination. Talking about it is clearly something that needs to be done. The patients that we have who are younger take every advantage to go out and talk to other groups about awareness, about doing self-examinations, and I think that probably primary care physicians caring for adolescents or young adults should be made aware of this as well.
The animal shelter has served Tullahoma dogs for nearly 30 years. Now, you can help us build a bigger and better no-kill shelter. Your tax-deductible gift is matched dollar for dollar, so come on, bark it forward and donate now to have your tax-deductible gift matched. Make your check payable to the COT Shelter Building Fund and go to tullahomatn.gov to see all the unique gifts available for your generosity. For more details, you can call City Hall at 455-2648.
Did you take your medicine?
Oh gosh, I forgot it.
Her nurse.
You need a claim number?
Her personal assistant.
Let me just grab a...
Her housekeeper. Her cook. Her accountant. When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving to connect with experts and other caregivers. Together we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
Welcome back. I am so blessed today to have the fire department represented here with Tim Stubblefield and Miss Melissa Allen. And Melissa, you work in the office. I was just sure you were out there climbing ladders and pouring water on things.
No. Hey, it sounds fun sometimes. No, I do all the paperwork,
You do the
and
paperwork
Facebook.
and keep the guys straight,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah,
And
it's
Tim,
great.
you're chief
Deputy Chief.
Deputy Chief
Yes, at Tullahoma Fire
So you go out and still fight fires, or you just run things?
Not exactly. We just run day-to-day activities.
Well, you do a great job. I am so proud of our fire department, our police department, our first responders. Oh my
Yes.
goodness, what would we do without you? You got a thing coming up?
Yes, May 4th is International Firefighters Day, and so it's to recognize the past, the retired, and the current
So do y'all have a ceremony?
firefighters serving.
Do you have a ceremony that day of some kind?
I think the mayor might come visit us or something. Is what
I went to something
that
last
what I've
year.
heard.
You know, we may have a little ceremony or something like that, but this is a nationwide thing.
Right.
Yes.
Nationwide thing that they do, and it's, you know, like I say, it's for the retired and current firefighters that we.
Well,
that
it's
they
a wonderful
recognize.
thing to do. I don't think we can recognize them
I've made
enough.
little ribbons because
And-
it's for everybody to wear.
And did you pick these colors for a certain
I did.
reason?
The red is for fire, and the
There you
blue
go.
is for water.
Oh, I
So
see.
That's to.
That's nice.
It's just the colors of the firefighters. So.
And you will ask everybody to wear those on Thursday?
Mm-hmm, on May 4th.
And so this is an all-day affair.
It is. It's all day.
And
It's-
everybody should always be recognizing our
Yes, for
firefighters.
sure. Yeah, because they are very special people.
Yes, they are.
But it's always observed on May 4th every year. International Firefighter Day is so. And also on May 4th, our chief Richard Chastain, he's going to be leading the walk on the. It's the walk across the beach is what it's called. It's
That the mayor has
that the mayor has
established, yeah.
established. So he's going to be leading
He's
that
good at
night.
keeping people moving. I
He
appreciate
is.
that.
He's great.
We got a lot of people that don't know how to get off the couch, and it's
Yes.
good that we have somebody pushing for that. And is that Thursday evening?
That's Thursday evening at 6 o'clock at the Fraser McEwen
And
Park.
they're going to walk where?
Just do a pace walk on the Greenway.
Oh, okay.
And so Chief is leading that night, as long as there's not rain. The fire department will not be walking if it is pouring down rain.
Well,
so.
there's no reason to.
Right.
Because
So.
we've had some horrendous floods lately.
Exactly.
It could happen again.
Yes, for sure.
And, you know, the weather probably doesn't look too promising that Thursday, looking at the long-range forecast, but let's hope we have good weather for that night.
Exactly.
Maybe we will.
Maybe it'll clear off
Maybe
for
we'll
that
just
evening.
lighten up for that evening. And
Exactly.
Then come another
So.
downpour. I thought we were going to get blown away yesterday.
Oh, I know. The wind was awful.
And I think about people that have fires when the wind is up like that. How horrible is that?
It's pretty.
It's got to be devastating because it just fuels it.
Yes, I'm sure.
The wind does fuel those fires, and you know, anytime we have a fire, it's devastating. But to have those conditions, those wind conditions, makes it even harder to fight.
Tell me about fire alarms. Do you have time to talk about that?
Yes,
In people's houses and
smoke
how
alarms.
often
We
and-
are still installing free smoke alarms. So anybody
that's
that
awesome.
Oh yes, it is.
And aren't they
great.
a little different than they used to be? Maybe.
Yes, they come from the state, and they're 10-year warranty on them. You do not have to change batteries in them. They are good for 10 years. And our fire department goes out and installs them. And I mean,
is that something we can do out in the county? You know, I have volunteer firemen. I don't have, you know, paid firemen.
Right. Yes, you can get in touch with your county fire chief.
Fire chief, and
yes.
Ask them to come out and do
right,
that.
Right, because this is a statewide program.
But you know, I think I'm probably still using those that when the whatever that is, where the time changes, you change your batteries.
Right.
So that's twice a year.
Right.
And 10 years is good.
Yes, if yours are over 10 years and you need some,
they need to be changed.
They need to be changed
really
every 10 years.
They saved our life one time.
Yeah.
The fire alarm. So people shouldn't take that lightly.
Exactly. And if you need to, and you're supposed to check them every year anyway when you do change your clocks.
Let's talk about walking across the beach just a little bit.
Okay.
You just show up.
You just show up at the Greenway
and start walking.
And then we'll all gather together and start walking on the Greenway. It's and I'm sure we'll have places set up where you can get a water or something at different points.
And there's not a prize. It's just something good to do
just
for your body
good.
and for
Fire Pup will be there.
Oh.
And so and the firefighters, and then Chief will be leading the walk. So it'll be exciting. It'll be a great night. We did it last year and in the fall, and so we're going to do it again.
You have a really nice fire chief.
Oh, he is.
I have known him since he was about like this, and he was just a little working man at that time in his life.
Yeah, he's great.
And he's continued. I am so proud of our fire department and encourage young people to think about that as a career. And do you have women firefighters?
Yes,
don't
we
you?
do.
How many do you have?
We have 2 women firefighters.
And do they do the same
reserve.
as everybody else?
Yes.
Yeah, both of them work just as hard. They are great.
They're both. Yeah, we have 2 reserve firefighters in the department. Yes.
Now I know that you do things besides put out fires. I know there are other things that you guys step up to when there's an emergency. At least I think that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, I mean, like today, they're performing courtesy walkthroughs where they go and inspect. Well, I say inspect, but they just walk through buildings, get to know the owner, and just as a courtesy walk through their buildings. And if they see anything that's not right or whatever, they'll talk to the owner about it and just say, hey, you may need to do this and do that, just as a courtesy, and and that helps us to get the layout of the building in case there's a problem there in the future. They'll be familiar with the building. We do that once a year, about every year about this time or a month ago. We do hydrant testing, not testing, but function testing.
Because you have to make sure they are working, I guess.
Yeah, we do that.
And I believe you go to schools.
And yes, we do
educate.
that at the beginning of the year. We do our public education with the schools.
And
we
I
take
think
a fire pup, and we
terrific.
take the bounce house, and we do our fire education in the schools.
Well, I know that when we had, I was a lot younger, obviously, and had children at home, we always had a plan. You'll meet out here if there has a threat of a fire or anything like that. And I wonder if people remember to do that, because it's important. It seems like a simple thing, but when you're in a fire situation and you're wondering where your kids are, it's nice if they've made it out to the location.
Yes, we have a fire plan at our house also. Good. So it is good to know and talk to your kids about it and make sure everybody has their plan where to meet when they do if something.
And all that's important.
So we're pretty busy. I mean,
well,
we're doing something
you're not
every
just
day.
sitting around the fire station eating pizza,
no.
are you?
Those days are
every day has a different.
There's always something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody, I encourage you to thank a fireman when you see one, or a policeman, or whatever. But Thursday especially, and think about doing the walk to the beach.
It's 6 o'clock at Fraser McEwen Park.
And you guys got any final words?
Just good.
Look who's sitting here beside me. You got a final word?
I've got some final words. You got me? There we are. These fine folks from the fire department have been here today because their boss, Richard Chastain, has been eluding us. It seems like he doesn't want to be on television. So, Richard, this is for you, buddy.
We love you.
Run it. We love you.
Yes, we do.
Richard Chastain, ladies and gentlemen.
feel my temperature rising. Higher, higher, it's burning through my soul. Oh, girl, 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 you gonna set me on fire. Yeah, my brain is flaming, I don't know which way to go. Your kisses lift me higher, like the sweet song of a choir. You light my morning sky with burning love. Oh, 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 I feel my temperature rising. Yeah, heavy and flaming, I must be 109. Burning, 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 and nothing can cool me. Yeah, I just might turn into smoke, but I feel fine. Oh yeah, 'cause your kisses lift me higher, like a sweet song of a choir. And you light my morning light with burning love. Yeah, hey, don't forget this number now, 454-9612. Vote now, right now. Right, let's go. Woo! It's coming closer, the flames are now licking my body. Yeah, won't you help me? I feel like I'm slipping away. Oh! It's hard to breathe, my chest is a heaving. Lord have mercy, I'm burning the world away. Woo! Let's go now. Oh, your kisses lift me higher, like a sweet song of a choir. You light my morning sky with burning love. Yeah, burning love.
Everybody clap your hands.
Yeah, I'm just a hunger, burning love. 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 Call this number now. Vote now. I'm on the stage. I don't have to come to your house. Just a hunger, burning love. Woo!
Mr. Richard Chastain.
We get closer to a world with more birthdays when we take cancer patients by the hand. We help them find answers and guidance and hope, and give them more candles to light. We're the American Cancer Society. Help create a world with more birthdays at morebirthdays.com.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Good morning, all you wonderful viewers and TV land. Thank you, camera gentlemen, for putting a
good, sharp, colorful, contrasted picture on the screen. I have a couple of different items to discuss with you today. One is that a number of years ago, this being the Easter season, the sunrise service was held at Wilkins Stadium, the football stadium behind the Tullahoma Senior High School. And it was a great program with choirs and music and very spiritual and inspirational. And this was taking place several Easters in a row, but the railroad trains, the freight trains, made so much noise, it was very distracting, and they discontinued the stadium sunrise service. However, many of the churches in Tullahoma have their own sunrise service, and it's a great inspiration for that to take place. And it will be coming up the Good Friday and Maundy Thursday, and then with the sunrise services on Easter Sunday. Now, the other subject I'd like to discuss with you is a part of what we discussed last week, and that was the eateries in Tullahoma. And this segment of my discussion has to do with drive-ins. And the earliest drive-in that I can remember as a little boy was out at Twin Oaks. A fellow by the name of Roy Sanders and his wife operated Twin Oaks, and their specialty was barbecue. And they especially catered to families. And on Sunday afternoon, a lot of families with children in particular would go out to Twin Oaks, and they had a wonderful playground there, sandboxes and seesaws and slides and swings, and several families would get together and we'd have a good time. And then when sundown came and we got hungry while we would clean up and go to the, they even had indoor facilities there for eating, and we would enjoy the barbecues and hamburgers. And then later, I think the Sanders family sold their place and moved to DeLand, Florida, but it was always a wonderful place, enjoyable to go to. This was back in the 30s, and one of the other real popular, very popular drive-in, it was real popular and people just loved to go there, was Moon's Drive-In. Everybody remember Moon's Drive-In? And it was a good place to go get roasted chicken and it was a drive-in, and they would come out and take your order and put a little tray on your side of your car there, and it was real good. Moon's Drive-In, and it was located out on Highway 55 that was Carroll Street, and it was right across the street of the highway from Bry's Haircut and the barbershop out there. And it was there for many, many years, and people always enjoyed going to Moon's Drive-In. And another one, of course, was Doug's Dugout out on Wilson Avenue at the intersection of Wilson Avenue and McClure Boulevard. And there were others, and so many more drive-ins, Arby's and McDonald's and Hardee's, and just so many more drive-ins that have made Tullahoma a good place to be. The Sonic has 2 drive-ins now, and they're always popular. And they say if it's good, it's Sonic good. And we enjoyed going there at all other good places. And I'd like to tell you that this is not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come, and we'll be glad to look forward to you being with us next week. Thank you, and have a good day.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Maiden. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterware.
Yes, Roosterware is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterware specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with the material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterware.
come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com.
to find our handcrafted designs for
The Cock of the Walk.
This is an American Red Cross blood donation alert. The Red Cross is experiencing a severe winter blood shortage. There is an emergency need for blood and platelet donors to give now and help save hospital patient lives. Donations are critically needed so that patients can continue to receive the life-saving treatments they need. Resolve to make a difference and help save lives by giving blood or platelets now. Use the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to make an appointment.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network. All right, we're back,
we're
folks,
back.
and we appreciate our good friends from the fire department
Yes, we
being here
do.
with us. They do so much for and give so much to our town and our safety, and we sure do love our first responders. And Richard, that'll teach you.
There you go.
You better show up next time, or we'll play some more revealing video about you.
He'd have made a great rock star, wouldn't he?
He's a great
I
guy.
love him.
He's a great guy. Peggy, there's so much going on. We're in the process right now of rehearsals for 1776.
It comes off the first week of June, doesn't it?
Yeah, first week of June, second, third, fourth, and the third, the Saturday night, the third is going to be the gala.
South Jackson.
And South Jackson is having a gala, and 1776, if you hadn't seen it, is a play about the Continental Congress who signed the paperwork and wrote the Declaration of Independence and took the step to gain independence from England.
Right.
And it is a great play. We have 22 men and 2 women in it, and it's funny. It's poignant, it's fun, but the thing about it is, after being involved in that, I don't know how they ever got this country started. all they did was drink and run around.
Really?
Oh yeah, and it's so funny.
Does that have anything to do with your hair?
Well, that's why my hair looks like this, and it's driving me crazy. I'm supposed to have long hair by June the 2nd.
You will.
And I'm trying to get there, but it's not all that fun. But the thing about it is, about 50% or more of the people who were involved in the Continental Congress brewed beer.
Well, sure.
Because that's the only way you got it, or somebody in their hometown brewed beer.
Because there wasn't a ship coming over every other day.
Well, no, there wasn't an 18-wheel truck pulling up to a grocery store delivering beer, And so we, on the gala night, our friends at Old Shed are the prime sponsors for that, and they're going to bring down 4 different types of Old Shed beer, which is brewed right here in Tullahoma. And they have a honey beer, and they have a pot-bellied porter. Well, see, a lot of the beer that was consumed back then was like a mead. The honey was in a lot of the brewed products at that point. So Mike Thornburg over there is going to bring us 4 different types of Old Shed beer that's going to be served at the gala.
That's very generous
to where it
of
will
them.
be like. You're there, and we're asking people on that night or any night that they come to dress in period clothes and be part of the event and just have a big time. And so it's going to be big fun down there. Peggy is the orchestra director,
and I have some real good players, which I'd like to comment on because. It takes extra time to go in there and bring your horn and rehearse, and we're excited about it.
And strings and piano and a lot of, and the music is just wonderful. And the chorus of 22 guys, we have some really, really good voices in there. I'm sort of in the background because I don't have that great a voice, but I can harmonize. And but we have some young people
great voices,
from Manchester and from Tullahoma who are doing those parts. And Mama Look Sharp, which is a song that's in there, which is a very poignant song about that a dead soldier sings while his mama's a young soldier sings. And I watched the movie and I watched the play. And the young man who sings that part is better than the people who did it on Broadway.
Oh,
he is incredible.
As I remember when we did this before, Ricky Mines played that part, and I was directing the orchestra then, and every time he sang the song, I cried. It was just beautiful.
And then
and anybody that's had military connections are going to feel that right to their heart.
And our John and Abigail are better than the ones in the movie.
And if you saw South Jackson Goes Country last year, Luke Sanders is doing John.
He's John, yeah.
And he opened our show last year.
Right, and it's great.
Wonderful performer.
And Samantha
Waters
is Abigail.
Who's a former student of mine. I'm so proud of her.
They're wonderful together, and they're almost like they're brothers and sisters. They have harmony like siblings usually do.
And then Erica Peterson, I think she is the mother of the young soldier.
Erica is, she sings that part, but she is also...
she's playing the part of the other girl.
Jackson. Not Jackson.
No, Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson's wife.
His wife.
Martha?
I think
her name's Martha.
I'm afraid to say. I've gotten that Martha mixed up with Martha Washington, so
They might all be Martha. There's a bunch of Marthas.
Anyway, it's a wonderful time in our history to promote this part of our history.
Yes.
And
because the world is changing.
There is an educational outreach day, if I'm not mistaken,
I think so,
where
much.
But it's a more participatory thing where people come in and watch what was happening in that part of, in that time in history.
Yeah,
anyway.
And it's funny and fun and poignant and educational, and it's a great way for you to celebrate the 4th of our history here in the United States and to support South Jackson on Saturday night, or any of the nights, but particularly Saturday night on the gala night. So make sure and get your reservations. You can go to 455-5321 or southjackson.org and buy tickets right now.
Online, yeah.
Sure can. And don't forget the big payback Wednesday. Make a donation to your favorite nonprofit.
I hope everybody understands how to do that. You have to, $10, is that kind
Minimum.
of the minimum?
Yeah, but we'll take anything.
Well, of course.
$1.50, doesn't make any difference.
Your first child.
Yeah.
Whatever. No, nonprofits need the money. There's no doubt about it.
Sure.
And I think we have a supportive community, and I'm hoping people will come out and share a few extra dollars with us.
Well, and just like Tabitha said last night, our nonprofits are the quilt, the patchwork quilt of our community that envelops us and warms us and keeps us feeling good about ourselves. That's what all these nonprofits put together are a great part of each community that you live in. So make sure and support them on Big Payback on Wednesday.
Exactly.
Right?
And there's a lot of nonprofits in
A lot
this
of them
town,
out there.
and everybody needs money.
That's right.
But there's one right there on the screen that
There it is.
I specifically
We
have donated
support
my
that.
life to,
That's
and
right.
I appreciate all the help we get in all the areas that need it.
Sure. Thanks for being here.
I love being here.
Isn't it fun?
And I'm just can't
You
wait.
give us credibility.
I can't wait till your hair's down to your waist.
Yeah, I can. It'll never get there again. Folks, we love you. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
a group of guys you'll know. You see. It's the piano player's part. I'm doing the piano player's part with my fingers here, just with these 3 fingers here. Here comes the guitar player's part with my thumb right here.